The original state of man is often called original innocence or original justice, and it seems to have three components to it. First, there is the supernatural life of the soul. Adam was created not just with human nature, but already with a soul infused with supernatural life, a participation in the divine nature. In addition, there were these preternatural gifts, which are not proper to divine existence, because, for example, the angels have immortality, but they're above human nature, so that's why we call them preternatural. And the third element was the ability to pass on these two other gifts to offspring simply by the act of human generation. Every human that came into existence in the human race would be instantly blessed with these two gifts. In terms of the preternatural gifts, we normally talk about four preternatural gifts. There's immortality, impassibility, infused knowledge, and integrity. Immortality is revealed to us in the fact that Yahweh says to Adam and Eve that as long as they don't eat from that particular tree in the garden, then they won't die. So that implies that they are immortal. That's not something which is proper to human nature, as I spoke of before, because humans are, as any bodily thing, ordered towards ultimately disintegration. In terms of impassibility, well, that's more indirectly spoken of in the sense that they were in a kind of paradise, and impassibility seems to be a sort of providential arrangement that nothing would do them any harm. There was a complete harmony of the created order in which they were the top of that visible created order. Infused knowledge is revealed to us by the fact that he was able to name the animals. He seems to have some already knowledge of things. He's not like a newborn baby that has no understanding about reality. Of course, he has to be that way because he has nobody to be taught from. So that's why we talk about infused knowledge. And finally, we have this thing called integrity. It's probably the most important of those four preternatural gifts. Integrity is the full control of the lower appetites, the animal appetites, by the higher powers in the human soul, namely the intellect and the will. Here is a little diagram which seeks to show the different powers of the human soul. And the main point to take from this is that down here where the cursor is moving, we have the sensitive appetites, the so-called concupiscible and irascible appetite. And this is the realm of passions or emotions. Now, in the original state, this world of the emotional world was fully under the control of human reason, of the intellect and the will. Now we only have a kind of partial control, and that causes us, of course, all sorts of problems because our emotions can bully us into doing things which otherwise, if we hadn't been under the influence of emotion, we wouldn't have done. And the order in the soul is so beautiful in the original state that this could never happen. The reason why I say that probably we could understand the integrity, the preternatural gift of integrity is the most important, is because it's the one which most directly protects the more important thing, namely the supernatural life of the soul. By keeping a certain order in the soul, that reason is always master of the emotions, then it's much more likely that supernatural life of the soul could have been preserved, because there was nothing impelling Adam, you might say, from some kind of disorder within the soul towards doing a sinful action. Now, of course, it wasn't enough actually to stop him doing a sinful action, because in the end he did sin, and on account of the sin he lost not only the preternatural gifts but also the supernatural gifting as well.